Italian. Word of the day for Friday today, Friday, 15 November 2024, is Invidia, which translates to English as envy. And envy is a feeling that someone may have when they want something that somebody else has. And it tends to be, though not always, is with when they want something that somebody else has and they don't have it themselves. So that is, I think, like a sub-discipline of envy called coveting. Somebody covets something if they don't have it themselves. However, envy also includes the case of, somebody's watching that music video and really likes that bottle of candy cane syrup, but they already have a bottle of candy cane syrup in the kitchen, in the pantry. Right, so it's so it can be both something they have or something they do not have. And so I was like, okay, that's relatively simple. Can we do something that or kind of try to parse through something maybe that I've talked about on this channel? Do like press coverage. All right, there's a bunch, especially in the United States of America, these days, a bunch of people, and I would say maybe like the entertainment industry has come to pollute other industries with kind of the goal isn't to make high quality product so much as to get more press coverage and to get more awards or get more records for more press coverage. At the end of the day, it's all about press coverage. Right, and so they envy people who get an article in some magazine because they're like, they want all of the press coverage. So I would say if there's an out of control industry in regards to envy and press coverage, that dynamic during my lifetime was born early to mid 1990s. For the duration of my lifetime remains unchanged. It is kind of a beating heart component of that industry is the entertainment industry. One where we are much more like, we or get it done, we don't need nor really want the press coverage, is science and mathematics. We're kind of like, when that stuff comes with interference, it comes with unsolicited feedback or communications. Right, we dealt with that with our curriculums, okay? We were required to take electives. We were required to take stuff other than science and math. We've lived with that. It's a bit disrespectful for, especially something not dedicated to science and mathematics to be like, now we're going to cover you. And it's like, no, you've disrupted me for my entire existence thus far. You don't get to continue hindering my progress. Right, so that's kind of a beating heart component of science and mathematics. It's very kind of, so there's not really envy there. There might be envy about getting a research published in a scientific journal, a particular peer-reviewed scientific journal. Or if they want to be covered, if their school has some sort of technical or not technical, like publication dedicated to math or science, or there's some like small scale technical magazine, then there might be like envy in that of like, I want to be on that. Though I would say that's definitely, envy is not alive and well in that sense. It's more like it would have been nice or it'd be cool if it got covered, but it doesn't tend to, even with the bad people in science and math, it doesn't tend to actually escalate to envy. So I would say it's an industry where that is not really part of the culture. Then there's sports. I would put sports as on par with, potentially even equal to the entertainment industry and how alive envy is. I think both industries fixate on what a person looks like, and influence and that kind of stuff, and both really overemphasize personal life and trying to control or influence, but really try and control other people, like normal people or people outside the industry or even within the industry, right? They want total control through like pushing of their personal life stuff or look stuff. So then if somebody, gets a sponsorship with a certain product, everybody who has that as part of their training regime who wants a sponsorship and wanted that sponsorship might be envious. Right, so I would say if entertainment is the worst, then sports is a very close second. Otherwise, they might even be tied. And then the fourth category, fourth industry, I would put as business, and I would throw technology and engineering possibly in that as well. And business is kind of more of a hit or a miss. I would say definitely from the technical group of us scientists and mathematicians, we might be more like, if you're saying you're a technical business guy and then out there on the cover of a fashion magazine, was fashion really the reason you did that? All right, it's not really appropriate to be on a fashion magazine. Is about breathing and living fashion and it being the inspiration for 100% of what one does. All right, so if a scientist is on there, that's nice, but then I'm gonna like be like, I thought your science meant more. All right, it's just inspired by so-and-so shoes. Yeah, thank you. Right, I might not cite you. If you're, however, a lot of businesses might be geared towards how something looks or a final product. So like, in business, it might be more acceptable for a politician, for a politician to be on the cover of Maxim 100, because at the end of the day, a bunch of people spend their time looking at them. All right, so it's one of those ones where like in they're trying to sway voters. So I'd say it's probably the one where maybe entertainment and sports wants to siphon off as much as they can from business, because business makes more money, business has more social percolation, right? It has more power and influence that way. So essentially, like, kind of the hierarchy might be like, entertainment industry, sports, business, scientists and mathematicians, but like the people at the top in entertainment and sports are like trying to like just take everything from us at the bottom, and the business people. And so, like, there might be like, well, if Kamala Harris was on the cover of Maxim 100, that might actually mean something for politics, right? That a woman is allowed to be pretty, to be hot, to be sexy. Because Maxim 100 is 100 hottest women. Okay, female. So, like, right, but that also might not be good for her industry standards, right? Not for business standards. However, that it's a little bit different. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, from the bottom, somebody who's at the very bottom of these four industries, the choice to be on publications that are of zero relevance to the industry, such as fashion, right? Unless one's working on like manufacturing for textiles. But then that would be business. I think, right, but there could be science there. But like, point being, it's not really relevant. So finding the correct, being on the cover of Catalyst magazine instead of Vogue magazine, and being like, that cover of Catalyst magazine is better than any cover of Vogue I've ever seen, right? And I'm a scientist and I respect that, right? Like, I can see it and appreciate it for the grandeur that it is, and that what a fashion magazine cannot be, because it's not technical science. It's not science whatsoever, it's fashion. Right. So yeah, that's so the envy, I guess I'm trying to say, is like greatest at the most polluted, so entertainment, and least at the science and mathematics, which does give rise to an interesting, so if I were a big deal and had a really stable or some semi-consistent, forward march in science, and let's say Miley Cyrus from this polluted industry decided to shadow me and portray me on television, possibly film as well, right? Could then her shadowing me, could the goodness of the lack of envy in science and mathematics rub off on this entertainment industry individual? Ooh, so there we go. Anyway, that's a little discussion on envy. And so I guess I'm trying to say business might be more envious of ideas and what actually happens in the final product, in like money and stuff like that, as opposed to like press, because this was all about press. All right, so business is like the in between the science and mathematics, and then the sports and the entertainment. But it's like more about, from my perspective, more about like the business. So it's a little bit more contained and mature in that sense than the other two. So there we go. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. This is my Italiano word of the day for today, Invidia, in English as envy.